Okay, we're
Don't
live.
tempt me. So
We are live.
okay. Just
All
cross the
right, so
threshold.
Jonathan's still talking and we're live now. Jonathan,
I'm sorry.
please play guitar.
All right, we'll do, man. We'll do.
All right, very good. This is It's Casual. And we let Jonathan go a little longer tonight because we don't have a musical guest tonight. So we have a great show, though. We have comedian Bradley Tassell coming in and in just a few minutes. And we have an award-winning producer, writer. I'm thinking he does directing as well. He can tell us about that later. Also, he's a voice talent. I met him on Clubhouse. We're going to talk to Ewan Gotfryd. My goodness, I had a mind block there for a second. Brain fart. How can I forget that? How can I forget Godfrey?
I was gonna say, I mean, come on. It's such a, that name just
One of
sticks in my brain.
one of the voices in my head.
I can hear Gilbert.
It's been
Is Gilbert here? I heard Gilbert's voice very early. I know he's somewhere here.
He's waiting in the green room. Telling off-color jokes. Speaking of things that make us uncomfortable.
Oh boy, here we go.
They're back, aren't they, Renee? They came back this week to try to push the Purple Terror. Am I right? Yeah,
it's a little annoying. Yeah, we got some videos. Okay, so people are following. There's a new terror on American soil. And first the manager. I mean, he's got a manager. I think you guys will figure it out pretty quick. Do you want the manager first? You want to hear what she had to say? She's a bit much. We said we
were going to go ahead and run it. It's only a couple minutes, so let's do it.
All right, everybody. Here you go. Here she is.
Oh boy. My boy, the Purple Terror. I call him Cha-ching because he is such a moneymaker. Now, for all y'all Americans hiding under rocks, little underground bunkers, not knowing nothing about people who are famous, actually getting things done, the Purple Terror is the wrestler that is going to transform America. That's right.
It's wrestler.
He's going to put down a hamstring hammer on you. He's going to give you a butt bite, and you're not going to even know what hit you. So I'm just letting you know, that's Jamie Hart right here. Be nice to my boy, because if you don't, you got a butt bite waiting for you. Oh.
That's right. That's one of his moves. Butt bite.
One of his moves, and he actually mentions it. Do you want me to run the video of Purple Terror?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go for it.
He's a wrestler, by the way. He's a wrestler.
America, I am the Purple Terror, and I am here.
Wow, look at that getup.
Your agents have turned their backs on me. They will not call me because your wrestlers in America, they are scared. They should be fearful. My butt bite and my hamstring hammer are
hamstring
lethal.
Hammer, yeah.
That's another one, yeah.
They're lethal.
For I, Purple Terror, I am here.
That's a scary growl. I mean, that's pretty terrifying.
Growling while he turns off his phone. I love it.
Yep.
There's
Now-
actually some potential here.
Now, I wanted to say that you were hanging out with Mike Wilson, right? The
From
other day?
Clubhouse. Yeah, Mike Wilson, whom I hadn't seen in like, almost 30 years. Because, we were both voice guys, so we don't work together often.
Right.
So, and I went off to China for 15 years. So,
I'll do it.
he was in Tampa, which is about an hour and a half drive from here. And I just decided to go over and see him because I hadn't seen him in so long. And we went and saw the movie Space Jam together.
And then you recorded this video, right?
And we recorded a video just for this show.
Okay, you got to see this, guys.
We just watched Space Jam together, and the voices weren't near as good as I thought they were gonna be.
What's up, Doc? I thought it was okay.
The lines were good. It was great writing, but I'm sorry, those voices just weren't on the money.
Yeah, I thought LeBron James was okay.
Oh, wait a minute, LeBron James? His performance?
It was.
No Academy Award. I thought his family did a good job. They were all actors, of course.
The problem was they didn't serve carrots in the theater.
That's right. Oh, I was doing bugs.
Oh my gosh, you guys are great.
So yeah, when we get together, it's just crazy. It's wacky.
Both of you guys do impressions, yeah.
So
very well.
yeah, that's true though. The entire family, LeBron's entire family, was played by actors in the movie. I recognized his wife from Star Trek Discovery.
Oh
She's like
my
the main
God.
character on there. So
That is great. Can you talk about
we had a
where
good time.
people
And
can...
we recorded several videos actually, which we'll be playing on this show, and I'll be playing on Facebook later. So
Can you talk a little bit about where people can tune in on Clubhouse to hear Mike Wilson and you do different impressions?
actually, I can. And we're going to talk a little bit about one of the shows a little later because Ewan is actually the head of it. It's a Simpsons game show, which is on Thursday nights right after One Hit Wonderful. It comes on at 8:30 Eastern Time, our time. So, and we've moved One Hit Wonderful back an hour. I appreciate that so much so that I could be in that show. And I will be playing different Simpsons characters in that. But now I'm doing Grandpa!
You do a great grandpa.
Thank you!
It's perfect.
It's like a Gilbert when it's an all yelling impression.
Yeah, it's just really angry all the time. It's a lot of energy.
Oh Lord!
People who saw the movie will know what that's all about. Anyway,
man.
we're going to talk about that a little bit. I'm also on Impersonation Nation on Thursday nights, which is after that show, which is later. So Thursday is a busy night for me.
Yeah, that's a lot going on.
Wonderful. Then I'm doing the Simpsons game show, and then we're doing Krusty's game show, and then and
I
he
love
does
Krusty.
an awesome Krusty. It's just
I love
yeah,
Krusty's game show, and it gets really inappropriate at times. It's like The Simpson said some very inappropriate things.
Patrick Wilburn is on there sometimes, whom we've had on the show. Mikey Valdez is on there, whom we've had on the show. So it's got a lot of our friends on there. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. But first, we're going to bring up a comedian who, again, this is one of the guys that the pandemic really didn't affect him all that much, as far as his performing. He was out there performing, and he was doing a lot of this kind of thing, a lot of podcast-type stuff. And we're going to bring him up right now. Bradley Tassell.
And you said you didn't have a performer, a singer on the show. That's not true.
Holy cow!
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Call Sylvia Madrano.
I was about to say that same thing.
Okay, one more. All right. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful.
Wait, why is it all me? Why can I only see me? What's going on?
She does that.
Because you're so
She
handsome.
does
We
that.
wanted to highlight you.
Yes, just to heighten anxiety.
We get
But her
focused
hair
on
is
this show
just-
when it's
Beautiful. I don't know what happened to it. So what's going on, kids?
Oh, this is It's Casual. We try to get fun people on the show and have a good time.
Well, you made a
And look
mistake.
at here.
Oh, and look at
Okay.
here. This
Oh,
is
wow,
this
it's
is the man who
Dennis.
pays our bills.
This is the CEO. This is the chief wizard of Tardan Media Network
Dennis
himself,
Tardan.
Mr.
Boss
Dennis
man,
Tardan.
yes.
Right.
He's the
I am a poor man's Ted Turner, who
He
in
pays the
December the
25
17th, 1976, went national with his start of TBS. And so now I get a chance to just see what all the fuss is about here. What is this
Daddy's
show?
home,
What,
We're doing international.
exactly.
in
I want to
221,
know. I
2021.
heard rumbling in the basement. I want to know what is going on here.
This is his network, and this is one of the shows, and he's really never been on here, Brad. So, but Dennis Tardan has
not true.
interviewed.
No,
on
that's
once
not
before.
true. That's not
Not
true.
true.
I was
I
on
interviewed
here
him once
before,
before.
but I don't remember it. So since I don't remember it, it's like it never happened.
But this is great, Brad, because Dennis has interviewed everyone from Mel Blanc to Peter Tork of the Monkeys. I mean, he's interviewed everyone, and he just popped on, and he can interview you right now for a few minutes. If you
Yeah, I'll just step aside.
no,
A man he knows nothing about.
Hello, Brad. I'm Dennis.
Hello, Dennis. I'm on your IMDb right now. I'm looking at your filmography. Writer Mel Blanc's Bunny Rarebits. That's cool. That's amazing. So my IMDb.
Well, you have to understand.
He's doing his
Renee and I
homework
were
right now.
Renee and I were tweaking the IMDb today,
like 2 hours ago.
and starting to. I mean, on your IMDb credits, how long does it take you to fill them out?
I have never done it. Anything that's on there is other. I did a television show for 2.5 years. None of it's there. It was a PBS thing because I don't know how to put anything on it. The only thing that's on there is stuff that other people did. I did a film one time.
Yeah.
They put everything up. So I have no idea how to put anything on there. You're talking a weird language to me.
Well, we just did it. This is the first time that we even tried to do anything like that because we're trying to go legit. I mean, we've been like skating at the edge, you know, like the kids, like you go around the side of the building and go, "Can I get in there? Can I get in there?" And we finally found we're going to try to go legit, and that's what we're doing here. So, Brad, do you mind being on a semi-legit program?
No, everything has to be sketchy for me. That's all there is to it.
Thank
not
you.
Sketchy, I'm out.
Oh, thank you. You have arrived at exactly the right place because we could not be sketchier.
Oh, good.
He's very understanding. He's from Indiana.
Yes.
I
have
love
some
people
Santa
from
Claus.
Indiana.
Mishawaka?
Well, I was born in Mishawaka. I grew up there, but we lived in Santa Claus, Indiana for
Oh, wow.
many
No way.
years. We still own a farm there, and now we're in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
I saw that.
How
Yeah.
lovely. Is
Yeah.
it why are you in Kentucky?
Well, after the massacre, we wanted to come help in Bowling Green.
Historical humor. I love it. Yes.
Just wonderful. How lovely. And so how are you helping in
It's too
in
soon,
Bowling
Brad.
Green,
It's
Brad?
too soon.
How am I helping? I'm going around telling people that nothing has ever happened here, and they need to calm down. I think that's exactly what I'm telling people.
So it's a basically it's chill out. Everything's going to be fine. Brad's here.
Don't believe the nonsense.
Yes. All right. Good enough. That's fine with me. All right. Well, Rory, you're driving. I love it. Yeah. See, this is the thing. I was looking right at you. And I was going, I can't wait to toss this over to him and just to see what the hell is going on behind those eyes.
By the way, I'd like to stop and tell Chris it was
I'll
the
turn
BG
over to Brad
massacre.
here. Brad, he does this
Oh,
all
yeah,
the time. He just takes over.
No, yeah, I could take over and talk endlessly, but I'm going to stop. Go.
So, okay, you were a theater major in college, am I correct?
I was a theater major with a sociology minor, and I learned one great thing about being a theater major, and that is that I can't act.
Ah,
Really?
I was more of a comedian than an
Interesting.
actor. I just did a video, though, for a country singer. I can act stupid. I can sing. Okay, like I've got the greatest Halloween album that has ever been created on the history of the earth. It's called Vampire's Ball, Ultimate Halloween Party. Literally the 9 greatest Halloween songs ever. None of them are me singing like me. They're all me singing like different characters. I can sing like this, that, or the other thing. You want to hear me sing, you're going to go, blech, that sucks. But if I'm doing Dracula, if I'm doing the Doctor, if I'm doing a zombie, if I'm doing that, that's all amazing. So acting is the same way. If you want a nutball, you're going to get a nutball. If you want me to act, I can't feel or do it at all. I just can't. I just feel dumb.
I don't believe that.
And yet
if
you
you're a
were
performer on
and yet
stage,
you
I don't believe that.
majored.
Yes. Well, I mean, this is 35 years ago. I thought I was. Look, when I was a junior in college, I had been doing some acting. First of all, I don't know about you guys, but rehearsing sucks. Practicing crap sucks. So just showing up to rehearsal, that's about 12 rehearsals. I'm like, can't we just make this up as we go? And then I at the end of my junior year, I did stand up for the first time. And I was like, oh, this is something cool. And then the next year I was in Macbeth, my final show I've ever done. And I was doing 3 bad parts in Macbeth, hating every second of it. And I got to open for Leno. And we had an amazing time. He was really great. And after that, I went and did stand up every second after that. And except for if it's a fun little party, stuff like that. But if I had to really, really act, it would just be horrendously sad is what it would be.
I actually played Macbeth.
You were Macbeth?
I was Macbeth, actually, in 1984.
Oh my
Is this
God.
a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. See, it's still here.
It sounds more
I was
like
the toil. I was the boil, toil in trouble.
You're one of the witches.
Yeah, I was one of the witches.
I was murderer number 3. I was guard number 5, and I was dude who held the spear. I think that's. And this was my senior year. That's how good I was.
The spear carrier was the 3rd character.
Yes, Dennis.
Thank you. Brad, what was your comedy? What was your comedy at that time when you started? Talk about your comedy. What did you think was funny? What did the audience resonate with? What were you doing?
Well, not to plug my book, but Hell Gig and Lightning the Road comic. My first time on stage, I just thought, you just walk up there. I took a guitar, even though I didn't play the guitar, and I just thought you said whatever came to the top of your head. Well, there was 500 drunken Greek guys there screaming at every act, and I just started blathering on, and for some reason, they laughed. I have no idea why. So, but that wasn't comedy. That was just me, so much adrenaline, first time on stage. But then after that, when I started to actually work on my act, I knew one thing. I was not going to do political. Even though we do a Thursday show and I have to write 10 minutes, I do a lot of political stuff there. You will never see that on stage from me normal. I have been kind of called I'm fun to watch. And I also like to talk about things I care about. I have a master's in the art of education. And I've always told kids when they ask me why I did things, I want to be funny, but I want there to be a point. I want there to be a reason. I want there to be a why, no matter how silly it is. So that's what I do with all my books and everything. So right now I'm more family oriented, what's going on with me, my wife, my kids, what's going on in the world, but to the sense of how we're treating each other and not political in any way. And then of course, a lot of, humping the stool. I think that's the main part of my act.
Humping the stool.
I just wanted to throw in something horrible at the end. I just wanted to throw.
Now, you also have a master's in behavioral science? Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, in 2005, I wanted to write a book about a detective novel for teens. And then I wasn't I've always been involved in educational issues of some sort. I was the assistant director of a gifted camp for 10 years. But, and then I wanted to be about bullying, where you can't just write a book about bullying if you don't know anything about bullying. So you have to start studying. So I started working with school safety specialists. I've started working with people to make sure everything was right in the book. And then it just ended up years later, I just ended up with a master's degree, so, and to my credit, at least 3 to 5 people a month still download my thesis.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah. After cool. 8 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Congratulations. That's huge because that means that they're going to be spending their time. That's like having anyone here, like Cynthia Salm, for example, my writing partner for from 20 years ago, we are reconnected now. She's in Baltimore. And we get a chance to be able to see if someone sees something that we did so long ago and they see something and it resonates with them. What a lovely thing.
It's wonderful. I just want to say hi, Sin, by the way. I was going to do a shout out too. Hi, Sin. She's watching. Anyways, we can. What does that one say? As a behavioral scientist, what does humping the stool indicate about a person? It indicates that you don't have an act, that you don't have an act. And I said that because there's a comic who does that a lot. And I just thought it would be a silly ending to the thing. There's a comic who humps the stool. Okay.
Yeah, we're not going to say who, but I've never, to my knowledge, humped a stool.
I might work with them.
Yeah, you have. You know who it is. You know who it is.
So who is making you? Who's making you laugh now, Brad? Where is your sense of humor? How has it grown? Been different? How's it now?
What's funny is because I don't watch a ton of stand up. I've seen 32 years of stand up. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't watch people's specials very much. Now, people do surprise me and I see that. But what is making me laugh is just, I think my wife makes me laugh. We spend a lot of time talking. It's just silly, normal stuff. My daughter, things she says. So I have no idea. I want to find the humor and joy in stuff and not as much how much is going to make me laugh. Now, I love brilliant stuff. I worked with Tom Cotter this last weekend and he's got I like bright stuff. I like stuff that surprises me because you're right. I'm not going to crack up at a ton of stand-up. I'm not going to laugh out loud, but I'm going to go, man, I am so mad I didn't write that. Or didn't figure it out, or now I can never do that. That makes me sad too. When you see something, you're like, crap, that is so much better than I could ever do. And that makes me happy. And I like being joyous.
Well, Brad, that I'm interested in that because when I was growing up, the very first comedy routine I ever did was Bob Newhart, and I did his driving instructor routine as a teenager. Now, as comedians, we don't do other people's material to learn how to get better, although singers do other people's material in order to learn how to be better singers. Isn't there some way that we could do that?
I hope not. The only time I have always said in stand-up that you do other people's material is when you're big enough and famous enough that you need so much material that you have to have writers. There's a point where you have to produce hours of material because you're doing TV. But other than that, except for lines here and line there where you're writing together, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do like, hey, here's a whole 20 minutes and put it in my act and pretend it's me.
No. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm asking as a brand new person who's just learning how to do it and trying to learn as a way of learning how to do the material.
No, I'm going to say no. Most people do that though. But we had one girl I remember starting out. She just did Richard Jeni's act and she killed, but you don't learn anything from that. You might as well be doing a play. You learn from dying. You learn from learning how to craft a joke. That's what you learn from. You learn how to write, then you take it on the stage. It's as much, and Leno said this, he goes, look, this is the only business where you are the writer, the director, the performer, the producer, and the last person who makes any decision. And that is what's so important about it. If you had, sure, Bob Hope had a ton of people writing for him and stuff like that. But even when you're beginning, it helps you not at all, because I could send anybody up to memorize old jokes and get laughs with old jokes. Anybody could do that, but they're not going to learn how to be a comic that way.
No, I was just learning about what timing is and learning how this. I mean, this is one of the things that one of my feeling about musicians and comedies is that nearly every musician that I've ever seen who is translated into comedy has always been funny. I mean, Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Mel Torme, they all do a beautiful comic timing. And I'm wondering if there is something about being able to deliver a song and deliver to the beats of comedy that might have some parallel.
Well, we're talking about two different things. We're talking about people being funny and doing comedy, and then we're talking about stand-up. Stand-up is a whole different beast. Dean Martin would have never been a great stand-up comic had he hugely famous. Anybody's going to come see him. That's what hugely famous people try to do, is they go out and they try to be stand-up comics, and to different levels of success. Stand-up is totally a different beast. You're right. That's a good way to learn. If you want to be on shows, if you want to be funny and do that. But when it comes to purely doing stand-up comedy, if it's not all you, I don't think you're ever going to grow that much. And I don't think it's the right way to do it. But as far as Dean Martin, but talk about like Dean Martin never then did stand up though. They did a club act.
No.
But
They were doing lines that Joey Bishop wrote for them.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
And he was a great actor, but and you can see, but think of this though. Think of all these actors who are such great actors, and they go on to Saturday Night Live to host the show, and they give them good material as the monologue, and they just stink at it. And I was like, you're an actor. Why don't you act like you're a comic? But they can't get the timing. They can't get the, because they don't have that long
Watch the movie Punchline
on stage. And when you get that experience on stage as a stand-up, you only really get that timing doing, I think, your own stuff. Now you could take an actor and teach him one little bit and then put him in a movie as a stand-up and he'd do really well. But I think that's a whole different thing as opposed to being a stand-up. That's why these YouTube people make $1 billion on YouTube. Then they think, I'm going to do a show on stage. They show up at a club for 45 minutes and the crowd's like, yeah, this isn't anything like the 56-second, 13-second videos they're doing, because it's a whole different world up there.
Oh, absolutely. I have never seen it. It is difficult, and it's something that is a high wire act.
I agree. Well, people always say on Carnival when I'm on the cruise ship, and which I'll be going back and get paid money for the first time in a while, but is we're on the ship and they're like, oh, the comics get paid too much and we're the singers, we're this, we do. I said, you know what though? There's only 2 people on this ship that can walk on stage for an hour and keep everybody's attention totally the entire time and make them cheer at the end. Not one other. I don't care if you're the best singer on this ship. I don't care if you're the best dancer. I don't care if you're the best anything. You're not going to do that unless you. Now, there are people who then are that kind of performer, the variety acts and stuff like that, because that's what they have honed their lives to doing. Not just, sure, you're a good singer, but have you created a show that people are going to intently watch for 1 hour and hold their attention and make them sure glad they were there the whole time? And the answer is no. For the most part.
What do you think about that, Renee?
I was gonna ask Rory. Actually, let me pass it over to Rory.
Having done both, I totally agree with him. Again, I've done comedy on ships and held the crowd with the voices and doing comedy, and I've done Roy Orbison on cruise ships, and it's a different. I mean, I got good response, but it's not the same type of response that I would have gotten, doing the comedy, doing the voices. So yeah, it's a whole different experience, and I think both get paid very well. Coming from experience.
No. Yeah. I'm not talking about when you're doing variety. That's the same level. I'm talking about, and there's nothing wrong. The guy singing on the promenade is a talented dude, man.
Yeah.
He's sitting there, he's playing great. People are loving it. But if you said, okay, it's just you and everybody has to watch you for an hour and not talk and not move and not get up, it ain't going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
Not for the bar musician, no.
Yeah. All right, let me ask a question, Brad. All right, so you've got an hour that's coming up. How are you constructing this? Where are you right now in the production and the writing of this particular hour that you're going to be having coming up on the cruise ship?
Well, we don't do it that way on the cruise ships. We do 5 different 30-minute shows on Carnival. So there's a lot of moving stuff around.
Goodness.
And the what? Yeah, it's a lot. But luckily you can start out, you can repeat a family show is what I might do in the beginning. And then, but man, they don't like that. They don't like that if you're repeating too much. But luckily thing about in my position and in just regular comics position, we ain't Mark Maron. We're not burning our stuff. I don't have to go do a special and burn an hour and then start over. So I have my entire life's of material I can use. If it's 30 years old or 2 days old, you want to keep it as fresh as possible and keep stuff working, but it's not like I'm throwing material away. So it depends on the show. Like this last week, I only had to do 30 minutes. So basically I can just go up and say whatever I want because I've got a lot behind me. If it's 45, I might structure it of what direction I want to go, what things I want to use. But when I'm doing 5 different shows, I've got to set all those shows up really clearly of where I want to go and what bit is next. And then if you make a mistake and sometimes it ain't going that well and you're burning through material, you're now grabbing material from other shows. And now later you're sitting in your cabin going, crap, what am I going to put in here? What am I going to put in there to fill all that time? Because one thing you can't do as much on the ship is you can't, I always love these guys that go up and die all the time. Yeah, try to do that where they're going to fire you immediately if you're not really funny all the time. Oh yeah, we went up at the store and we just played around and we ate it. Yeah, shut up is what I say to them. Shut up, because I don't do any shows where they're like, no, just don't be funny. Don't do it. It's okay. Just do whatever the hell you want. So it does get hairy, but it's a lot of sitting around. As Rory knows, you take a card and you put one word on it for each bit, and then that leads you to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. And then you hope that it goes okay, because sometimes you get to hear and you're like, well, that ain't working. I better fit something else in, because I did this week. I did this. Killing for the first 17 minutes. Killing had a great show. And then I decided to really kind of get deep into one thing, and they weren't buying it. So I had 6 or 7 minutes of just digging myself a hole, doing the wrong material at the wrong time. And I had to switch it all back to get them back in the last 5 minutes.
It is important where you put your stuff and the order that you put your stuff in. And again, I used to write mine on bar napkins and bring it up under my beer. That was my trick.
Oh. Hey, in the last year, I just take the whole damn notebook up. Because,
hey, Carly could get away with it.
Yeah, I mean, I won't do that coming up. I'll just have a card in my pocket just in case, because I'm at the age now where I'll just blank, sometimes. Of course, I've always been that age. I don't know why I'm saying that now, but
So when you get into this hole, tell me what was the hole, the last hole you were digging yourself into? What did you think it was funny that the audience didn't think was funny?
Well, what I did was I was doing everything light and goofy and silly, and they enjoyed that, and I was doing crowd action. And then I went into a bit that I could do light and silly, but I was kind of pushing it like I was preaching at them. And sometimes that works great. They like that preaching, because then when you twist and throw in that joke that's just the opposite of everything, it makes it even bigger. Well, this crowd was not into the preachy part. They felt I was browbeating them, I think. So when I got to the silly, zany lines at the end that were the jokes, they weren't even really listening anymore. So it didn't matter. And I just called the wrong play. Where if I'd have been all silly and goofy with the first part of it, then they would have bought it all. But I thought, yeah, this crowd, because the crowd the night before loved it when I was sounding like I was preaching all over the place and how this people and they, but I was doing my best Bill Hicks impression or something, and they were loving it. And you got to pay attention to what the crowd's doing, or you're gonna fall apart. And I wasn't paying attention to what they really wanted. And so, and then you're 5 minutes in and you're of doing that. And then you're like, wow, I got to wrap this up and then really try to change to do something else.
So do you have a director inside your head who is sitting there going, no, wait a minute. We're switching cards and moving around. Of course.
Yeah. I think Rory, I think we've always had that. You have that you have to, and that's what it is when we talk about comics who can't adjust. I know comics who are incredible comics, but if it ain't going well and people aren't buying it, there's nothing they can do about it, because all they do is stand there and go, so the next thing happened and the next thing happened and the next thing. They can't change gears to figure out how to get this group. Every group is different.
Right.
Well, look, here's the thing, Brad. You were such an awesome guest. We want to have you again at some point and go like a full hour with you. But do you want to stay on?
Bad. I know. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Don't apologize.
Or what?
What am I sorry for?
That was the most awful "I'm sorry" I think I have heard in a long time. I would really wish you would take that back.
I'm sorry we're not talking about the dinosaur behind my head. That's what I'm sorry about.
All right. I feel a lot.
We'll accept that.
Is that a velociraptor?
I will accept that a lot more.
No, that's a T-Rex.
The T-Rex. Okay, yeah.
When I do kids programs on I've been doing video conferencing for 20 years. And when it first infancy, and I always have kids name the dinosaur as kind of a get going kind of a thing. And kids have no creativity. Kids are stupid. Let's just admit it. Every time. I can tell you what do you want to name it? Rexy, T-Rexy, Bob, Rexy, Dino. Is that it? Is that what you idiots got? What are you, 7? Oh, wait, you are. All right. Guys, thank you
Brad.
so much.
Brad, do you want to stay on when we bring on Ewan? Do you want
No,
to
kick me out. I'm going to go make dinner. I got to.
All right, bye, Brad.
Bye,
Bye, Brad.
Thank
Okay,
you so
thank
much.
you. We'll be in touch. Thank you. And now we have Ewan Godfrey is coming on. Should I bring him up? You guys ready?
Yes. I'm sure Dennis wants to interview him.
There we go. Let's go. Hi, Ewan. Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you for coming, Ewan.
Of course. No, thanks for having me. It's been very fun and entertaining. So I'm quite enjoying it.
Yes, it has.
Welcome, Ewan.
Hi there, Dennis.
Nice meeting you, sir.
Very nice to meet you. Nice to meet most everybody except for Rory. I think is the only one I talked to, but I've never actually seen Rory before.
Correct. We're on Clubhouse together, which is an all audio format.
Yeah.
So and again, we met in I think Impersonation Nation was the first time I saw or heard you do voices.
Was
and
it
then,
impersonation?
Yeah, and then later I had joined the Simpsons doing the grandpa shtick.
Yeah.
So it's good to see you at last.
Yeah, it's good to make this connection finally. This is a lot of fun. This is
where are you in the world at this moment?
I'm in LA.
I see the wonderful fire in the background, and I see this. So it could be anywhere. I mean, you could.
No, I've been based in LA now for many years, enough to say that I feel like I'm just in California for the rest of my life at this point.
Wonderful.
Until they drag me out, at least.
Where do you hail from originally?
Originally Ireland. I went back and forth between Ireland and the US when I was younger. Henceforth why I decided to finally make the permanent move, and then I've been here now in the States, and was over in Queens for a little while, then in Detroit for a little while, and then finally LA, and this is where I'll stay.
What's amazing about your impressions is that you do a lot of voiceover work, and you get the accents. I mean, when I hear you talk as Ewan, I know there's a definite accent, but when you do like Krusty the Clown or one of the other voices, many voices that you do, you get the accent dead on the money. I mean, you do a very good job of imitating the accent as well.
It takes a lot of practice.
Did you have this as a child? Was there someone in your family who did impressions, or someone who they like to tell stories so that they would do the characters?
No, nobody was an impressionist or voice. I did it for my little brother. That was how it kind of all started. I used to do goofy things to make my little brother laugh all the time, because it was a weird childhood, and so I would just do things to make him happy and whatnot, and so the voices were one of those. And but my grandfather is a storyteller. He was somebody, he'll start a story and 20 minutes later he's restarting the story.
How lovely. And you enjoy the journey.
Yeah, it was always good. But that was I guess how the comedy with storytelling and then voices all came about.
It's a pleasure. Ewan, what kinds of stuff are you into now? Tell me what's on your plate, on your windshield right now.
For I guess quote unquote day job, I produce and direct. I do a lot of development work on things, but I also love comedy, and I've always done comedy and been around it. So I've been doing a lot of comedy lately, and I'm now that the pandemic is kind of getting back under kind of control in a sense. I'm hoping that the industry will open back up and we'll be able to start making more films and TV shows again.
So what would you like to make? Are you shopping things around? Are you looking? What's going on?
Yeah, I've been shopping a lot of animation shows, and I'm going to be directing a Garfield movie coming up later this year. Where it was supposed to happen before the pandemic, but then the pandemic paused everything. And but now we're finally going back into the negotiations and the writing and storyboarding.
Wonderful.
So yeah.
How far are we from actually having digital actors so that you can actually create it from there? Where are we in the AI realm, in the curve? Are we away from that happening?
That
It's
I
been
don't
done.
know. I mean, it definitely has been done. Like de-aging is a major thing. Mocap is a major thing. I mean, if they wanted, I mean, they actually have done it with Beowulf. That was done. I forgot what year that was, but they did a full CGI Beowulf, and I think Angelina Jolie was in it.
Right.
Who does anyone remember who was the lead who played Beowulf in it?
Ray Winstone was
Well, there you
Beowulf.
go. There you go. You
Well
know?
done, Rory.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
nailed
I
that.
remember seeing that in the
IMDb.
theaters. But yeah, I
Wow.
remember thinking the same thing 15 years ago when it first started happening, like with Bob Zemeckis in his movies, you know, when they were doing the motion capture, that you could actually make a movie with John Wayne and Humphrey Bogart or whoever. And I think they even did a Tales from the Crypt where they had Humphrey Bogart star in it. And it was just somebody doing the Humphrey Bogart voice. And again, they got clips from his old movies and stuff, and they just kind of digitized it into an episode. And again, we are not far from that.
Yeah,
If you saw what was the Star Wars movie where they did
Rogue
that
One.
Leia
With Bushing. I was just about to bring that
at
up.
the end? Yeah,
Yeah, but
that's
because
amazing.
if you can look at the power that we have on our phones
Mm-hmm.
and compare it to what got us to the moon, and you can see how quickly it's changing. I mean, this is a time of extraordinary disruption.
Well, and again with the disruption, we have what's called the deep fakes now that are starting to surface.
Oh, those are so creepy
That
too.
are
Yeah, when
just,
people they're
it's
available
just-
to everyone. Yeah.
Oh my God! It's
There's
when you can
apps
put
dedicated to
somebody's face on another person's body, basically,
Right.
in any situation.
Right.
You know,
Including some unsavory situations, which is
Exactly.
really, yeah,
And-
which
Well-
is really
and
disturbing.
again, it was easy to spot the deep fakes before, but some kind of technology came out early last year in 2020, that it's just uncanny. I mean, you
Right.
can almost not spot the fake.
Well, that's what's and so anyway, Ewan. So you want to stay in animation, or do you want to move into live and to do that? What's your preference?
I guess for me, I'm all over the place. Like I love everything and anything, but I'm a huge fan of animation. I don't necessarily not into like the CGI animation. I'm more of a traditional 2D type animation or stop motion lover.
Right.
But so
Me too.
yeah, and I think I will always want to find a middle line between 2D animation fun and then also doing live action projects at the same time. And that's even what this new Garfield movie is going to be. It's going to be a blend of, old school 2D type of animation, kind of, you saw a little bit of it in the like Space Jam, I guess. And Rory, as you know, you've seen the new one.
Yeah.
But they did a little bit of the 2D, but I didn't know how I felt about them blending it with, making LeBron James all 2D as well in that world, and then changing it out to like the fancy 3D. I feel like the Looney Tunes were just lost a little bit with that. I loved how they did it in the original Space Jam. That was fun. And Roger Rabbit, of course,
Right.
Yeah. It's a wonderful. Well, fortunately, Jonathan Phipps, we're like a tag team wrestler. Jonathan, you're going to tag in and tag me out. I just wanted to check in on the show. I wanted to to get a chance to meet you, Ewan, and Rory. Thank you for piloting this poor man's TBS as we're getting it into the Tardan Media Network to be able to see. We've got lots of plans, but they're plans. We'll have to see how they go. But thank God we have you, and we have Jonathan Phipps, and we have, of course, the ubiquitous Renée Yaworsky, who, for whatever reason, I have never seen her go this long without talking. I don't know how you guys do this. I don't know if you know Renée. I don't know if
I
you
feel the
know
same
her.
way.
I have never seen her, but there is something happening that is happening here that has stopped her from talking, and I don't know what it is, but please let me in on it later. You guys tell me, and if you can figure it out and figure out what it is, because I've never seen it, never had it happen. Anyway, Ewan, thank you for gracing. Thank you for allowing me to grace your program, and Rory, thank you for allowing me to come in and to check out what you're doing.
Dennis,
Thank you. It was
we
lovely to
definitely
meet
want you to. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, Dennis, it was lovely to meet you, and I enjoyed talking to you for a little bit there. That was very nice.
Would you say that one more time? Would you say that, because I want to hear you say lovely. I just want to hear that. Just say it one more time for me.
It was lovely to talk to you and have you on here.
Oh my God! All right. Well, thank God I'm not gay, because that would have just absolutely knocked me over. All right.
Have a good one.
All right. And bails out like he's got a freaking parachute on his back.
Yes.
He's
spends
in, he's
40
out,
minutes
he's
in here.
He's in.
And Rory, I'm
Okay.
sure your brain is just scrambled when that took place.
It is what it is. You know, I didn't know he was going to hijack the show for that long. I thought he was going to come in for
Neither
5
did I.
minutes. In any case, I seriously, Ewan, I had no idea he was going to come in and do that.
Oh no,
He's
that's
done
totally
stuff like
fine.
that before.
No, that's
he's
totally
a
fine.
card, that Dennis Tardan.
He's a card.
And we certainly want him to come back, desperately want him to come back and do his own show, which is Tardan Tonight.
Yes.
And I don't even want him to do the Not Quite. It is Tardan Tonight. He's an
Tonight,
awesome interviewer. He's a wonderful interviewer. I want him to do his show again. I want to do characters on his show again.
Oh yeah, I love your characters, Rory.
You know,
I love them.
But in any case,
so good.
it is what it is. And I wanted to go back a little bit. I went through your. I should have called you like I do with most of my guests. I call my guests and maybe talk to them for an hour and a half before the show. Didn't get to do that this time, Ewan. So I kind of raided your Instagram to see what I could find. And ironically, I'm having dinner with my daughter Tina, and Renee says, "Does he have any pictures of him on the Sesame Street set?" And I'm like, "What? Sesame Street? Where did that come from?" And I'm thinking she's got you confused with another guest. And I go to your IMDb, which I was going to do, and I just didn't get around to it. And boom, there it is. You've done some Sesame Street in the past, which is great.
Yeah,
I mean, what an institution to be connected to.
I know.
That was my early days. That was the very young me getting, wet behind the ears, kind of first thing out the door, learning how to make believe, in a sense. But I was a small fish in a very big pond with sharks. But good sharks, not bad sharks. Good sharks, happy sharks, friendly sharks, fluffy Muppet sharks.
Just please don't sing the Baby Shark song, please. Whatever you do.
Oh God,
no, it will be in my head forever.
I had that queued up. I have a banjo right here. And
he's got
a banjo version.
Yep,
banjo
little
version.
Steve Martin version.
I have to endure that.
Ewan,
call up Jake Allen. Tell him to do Baby Shark on the banjo.
Oh God. So
but you also have a big love of Disney as well. Am I right?
I do love Disney.
The reason I said that was I saw some photos on your Instagram, and it looked like you were on the Disney studio property. Because I've been there. I worked on Super Robot Team Monkey Hyperforce Go. It's a mouthful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know which photo that was from.
You've been on some of the studios lots, obviously.
Oh yeah, I used to, like I said, I worked development for a while, so I would bounce around to different projects and different shows. And then I was, I don't know which time it was there, but sometimes I'll go there to pitch a film.
Okay.
And, and then sometimes it was there for like a Star Wars screening or something fun. Like they had
because they own everything now.
Yeah. I can't remember.
Star Wars.
It might be on my Instagram when I posted it, but there was one of the Star Wars films I got to go to the lot and watch.
Right.
And it was. I think
it was The Force Awakens.
Was that Force Awakens?
Was that Force Awakens?
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say because like I went to because it wasn't like the premiere or like an early like they release it and then they still showed at the lot for anyone that couldn't make it to a theater. But I went there, and the last time I was there, I pitched a film that didn't get picked up, and this is right around the Moana when they were doing that film. But I pitched I'll just tell you, I pitched this film and it was about like giants. It was Land of Giants, and I wanted it to be traditional, like 2D type of animation, but I was like, let's rotoscope it. Let's bring in like an Ariana Grande to play the singing magical girl in the Land of Giants, and have it be a little bit more, not Disney, but like have it be where like, the humans and giants are trying to find a way to get along and fight, kind of like how Brave was. I liked how Brave, the movie, it was a Scottish film, not Irish, but I liked how that one had a little bit more adult nature to it.
How to Train Your Dragon.
How to Train Your Dragon was also that way, and so I pitched something like that to the producers of Moana, and they were just like, no, rotoscope 2D is dead. It's out. It's all CGI. You should see Moana. Moana's not going to be like that. Like, and they were just very in their mindset. They probably hate me now if they watch this, but it was just, they were very in their own way.
I saw the writing on the wall too. I was working as a cleanup artist in China, on the Disney TV shows. And we saw the writing on the wall. All of the Chinese artists were like, "That's all going to go to 3D, like next year." So we saw it happening.
Yep.
And then when they came out with Tangled, the Rapunzel story, and they did it was like halfway in between 2D animation and 3D. It wasn't exactly 3D, but it was like, it looked very, I don't know how to describe it. You've probably seen it.
Oh yeah. That's Netflix has gotten really big into that type of animation where it is CG, but they do a 2D mapping on top of it, or it's it's a 3D character and it's shaded in a 2D method, or sometimes it'll be a 2D wire character shaded in a 3D method. So it's a little bit different to that degree. So it just kind of depends, but it's very interesting,
But now everything seems to be going 3D. It's like they won't even talk to you, So that's why when you said I'm a 2D fan and I hope to push forward stuff that's 2D, I was like, yes.
I'm big on 2D. Like even Ralph Bashki, like going back to Fire and Ice and Wizards. I saw Wizards on TV when I was a little kid, and I had no idea what it was, what movie I was watching. Only watched it for like 20 minutes, and that stayed in my head for years, like as a teenager and everything. Wow. And I didn't find out what that movie was until I had finally moved to the States, and I was talking to somebody. I'm like, there's an animated film that I've never been able to figure out what it is. And I was like, and it's got these like little magical elves being like slaughtered by like Nazis, I guess, on a projector. And they're like, yeah, and they were just like, what the hell are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah, it was an animated film. And they're like, for children? And I was like, I don't think so. But I was a kid when I watched it.
What's funny was that film came out in 1977, and Mark Hamill's in it as one of the characters. Wow. And of course, Ralph Bakshi. You talk about a crazy impression. Ralph Bakshi's in it. It's like one of the guards. It doesn't want to kill people. Great movie.
Ewan, when did you first sort of take an interest in wanting to be in entertainment and stuff of the like?
Oof. That's actually a good question. It was something where when I was a kid, I was always watching movies. For a short time, we had a video store that I grew up in, and our home was attached to the video store, and we would run it. And my parents were always away. And so as a kid, I was the one running a video store at a very young age. And there's a reason the business failed. It was just something where like it was in my kind of position to do it. And I was watching movies all the time, and I started to love films. It wasn't even TV at the time. It was always movies or like whatever I could get that was on a VHS back then. And started loving that. And I started like always doing goofy things for my little brother to entertain him. And as I got a little bit older, the school would have you do like shoebox presentations or whatever. And I found a camera in our closet, and I was like, can I have this? And they were like, yeah, sure, whatever. We don't use it. And I was like, I'm going to use it. And I convinced the school and the teachers to just let me make little movies. And I'm horrified that maybe one day that these things will resurface. Hopefully not, because a lot of them are on Super 8, High 8, and VHS. But it was me and friends doing a terrible Bill and Ted type of thing, because I was a big fan of that film at the time. And we were jumping through time to all these different history things and being like, "Whoa, Dad, this is crazy." You know, like it was just so bad. Like, "Whoa, chill out, bro." Like talking to a Nazi, you know, and it's like a little kid with a Hitler mustache being like, "Chill out, bro." Like it was very bad. It was very bad. But it was kids, you know, doing that, and I did that all the time. And eventually,
I had a Super 8 movie camera. I used to do the 3-minute reels, and again, I would kill to get a hold of some of the stuff that I did when I was a kid.
Same.
Things.
The Super 8, long and gone. Yep. You know, I've seen some High 8 resurface here and there of like, you know, somebody's like, "Oh, I found this clip of us on a High 8," and I was like, "Oh, that's weird." But that's about it. Most of the stuff I did as a kid completely gone now. Yeah. Especially when I moved to the States, like none of that exists anymore. And but I still got like my I got it up here on the bookshelf. You can't see it, but I got a 16mm projector, and I also have a giant rubber chicken. You know, like I know he had a dinosaur, but I got a giant rubber chicken.
So, what are some of the projects that you've worked on that you're really proud of? I know Mother is one of your short films that is an award-winning film.
Yeah,
you must be proud of that.
That one that was kind of a crazy thing. Nobody really ever talks to me about Mother, so that's an interesting one. It was a hot commodity for quite a while in the film festival circuit right before the pandemic, and it was also one of the films that was supposed to play over at the Chinese theater right at the start of the pandemic, and then we were supposed to premiere at the Chinese theater and run in that, and then a few other theaters right when they shut down all theaters. So we lost that, and then they were like, "Oh, you know, hey, once theaters open up again, we'll do it again." But then a year later, it's just what's the point at that point?
Right.
But yeah, that one was a short film about Myra. It was kind of it's an experimental black and white short film. We shot it for almost no money whatsoever. I pretty much did a lot of the stuff on it myself with one actor, and it was one actor and then two actors. James Duvall came in and did a little role. Eve Moreau came in and did a small voiceover role for us as well, and then Emily Clark came in and did a small role for us as well in that. But they were just, you know, quick little one shots, non-speaking. And then we put it out to film festivals, and it blew up and went everywhere, and it's got like over 50 awards, and it's the most awarded experimental film of 2019. So I was quite surprised.
See, now you had total control over it, like Orson Welles. You had all the control over it, and you did it the way you envisioned it, and boom, it was a huge hit. So kudos to you on that. Buddhism.
Yeah.
Again, I lived in China for 15 years. I got to ask.
Yeah, nobody ever asked me about that, but I am a Buddhist. I'm a bad Buddhist. I always consider myself a bad Buddhist. And I will.
It's okay. A lot of Christians are bad Christians too.
Yeah, right. But there is a lovely in California. There's a lovely Buddhist temple here in California, and I think that's also probably on my Instagram somewhere. A few photos. But yeah, it was something. You know, being an Irishman, I was just, you know, under a lot of stress and pressure all the time, and I never really found a religion that fit to me. Yeah. And I just, you know, I had somebody tell me to start meditating, and then eventually led to just kind of looking into Buddhism and, you know, siding with like a lot makes sense for me, you know, personally as a Buddhist. And, you know, I'm still a terrible Buddhist. You know, I'm not a vegetarian, but, you know.
And I'm going to jump from Buddhism to Doctor Who. You're a Doctor Who fan.
I am a Doctor Who fan. Yeah.
Who's your favorite?
Fan. Oh, you know, it's hard to pick a Doctor that's my favorite, because I was always more of a fan of the villains.
Oh, funny.
Or like, to me, it was always the universe, and it's like the Doctor. There's been so many Doctors now that I can't even remember everyone's names.
The latest one is good. I like her.
Yeah. I you know what, that's where you probably were seeing some of the photos of my Doctor Who stuff, and I got that as like a little media packet gift from the company because I had done some of the promo stuff for when they were doing a Christmas special for Doctor Who. I worked on some of the stuff for that, and then also when the female Doctor was announced, and everyone went crazy. And I was like, "What's wrong with you?" I mean, it makes total sense that eventually we there's going to be a black Doctor Who and a female Doctor Who. Like, it just makes sense.
He's not the first female Doctor Who, though. There was a short that was done for one of the comedy relief shows with Rowan Atkinson playing the Doctor, and at the end he morphs into what's her name from the Absolutely Fabulous. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't remember this girl's name now. But she was the first female Doctor Who for a few seconds. Anyway, he kept morphing into different Doctor Whos. That was the joke at the end of the gag. And she was the last one. And oh man, it's killing me. I can't remember her name.
I think I know who you're talking about, but I don't know her name either. I just kind of have a face in my head.
Yeah, she's the one that played the one with the big high hair, blonde hair, and she's done a lot of stuff. She was in a lot of the Pink Panther movies, and she was on the Avengers in the 70s. Anyway, I digress. Mike Judge, the hero, he got you into animation.
Yeah, like once again, Mike Judge. I was a huge fan of King of the Hill first. That was like my first introduction.
Well, that's understandable.
Yeah, that was King of the Hill was my first love for Mike Judge, and then also Office Space, but animation wise, it was King of the Hill, and then I started rewatching all the Beavis and Buttheads, and fell in love with that as well. And I had done an animated, the first animated TV show I got to actually be the development head on, rewrite, direct it, design the art. Like, I just had full creative on it, and it was a really fun, amazing show to do. And I did it all in like cell by cell, essentially, with layers and cells and movement, which was an insane thing to do. I don't know why I did it. I didn't know about certain other things. I was like, this is how you do animation.
And that project was, I'm sorry,
that was adults only.
Adults only.
Adults only.
I'll have to look for that.
It was a fun project that I don't know if it'll ever get to see the light of day because the timing was just terrible. It's a satire in the porn industry, and so it was a very hilarious like adult humor show. And right as we were going through and wrapping up the pilot for it, the Time's Up movement hit with Harvey Weinstein. And
oh man,
Trump with his Stormy Daniels, and so CAA and FX was like, we're just gonna put it on a shelf for a little while, and it never come off a shelf. And I met Mike Judge through HBO at one of the events, and we started talking, and I told him that I had just got done doing this and that Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill were huge inspirations. And it was just an amazing discussion between us. And he was so nice. And he's like, let's take some photos together. We followed each other in social media. And then like a few weeks later, I got in the mail a Beavis and Butthead original cell by Mike Judge. And it was like them and a fryer. And it said, don't quit your day job. And I was like, that's amazing. So I don't know if it was like all him or if he had like he's like, do something nice for this guy, do an assistant. But he was such a nice, warm-hearted guy, and I was like, that's the kind of guy I want to be. So cool. It was amazing. Mike Judge was amazing.
So now on Clubhouse, tell us what you're doing on Clubhouse now.
Absolutely nothing. No, on Clubhouse, as you know, it's amazing. For anyone that doesn't know, I'll say it's an amazing social audio app. And in the Comedy Lounge, we do a bunch of fun shows. There's always game shows and talk shows and social shows, different things like that. But we do a fun one called Krusty's Springfield Showdown. That's one of the shows we do, and it's kind of a little bit like a Springfield Squares. And you get to come in there on stage and play with the different voices of Simpsons characters. And I play Krusty the Clown for that. and then then
you have to do a smidgen of Krusty for us because I've been telling these guys it's dead on the money.
All right. Let me try to get it here. Hey, how's it going, boys and girls? It's me, Krusty the Clown. That's your smidgen. You're not getting anything more. Not even getting paid for this show.
Holy smokes.
There it is. When I hear your Krusty, it cracks me up so much because you do the thing where he goes, ugh.
That's my favorite bit.
Where like something doesn't go the way he wants it to, and he realizes it. And
that's
just
my favorite
because
bit.
I've never heard anybody else do that. I mean, they all do the laugh and everything,
Mm-hmm.
They're like, that's what brings it home.
That's my favorite bit. Every time we do the show, I love bringing that in. I love it when too many people are winning or the questions aren't like they're just too easy for people. And then every time I'm just like, would you guys stop winning? I'm gonna be broke. Why?
Oh,
And then I also do Mr. Teeny. So anytime you hear the monkey, that's me on the microphone. Shut up, you stupid monkey! So that's.
I have a good time in there. I enjoy it very much.
Yeah.
And I'm very
amazing
with the other show, so I could be in there. So.
Yeah, no, like Rory's amazing. Your grandpa's amazing. I'm so happy that you were able to join the cast, and there's so many fun things planned for that. And so
I want to do Willie the Groundskeeper too.
Oh,
so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, like there's so many different characters. Like I can't wait.
The doctor has in the thing.
I can't wait to slowly start unvailing more and more characters as we keep doing the show. And so, like,
you've got some great voices in there too. I mean, is it Teresa who does the Selma and Patty?
Yeah, she does a Selma, Patty, and a Mars.
Oh my God! I mean, and some of them are just. And the guy that does he does Snake sometimes.
Adam Gold, yeah,
and he does
comic book guy.
Comic book guy. Oh, he's dead on the money. It's really funny to hear him do the comic book guy.
And we got so many people. Christopher Martin, he does Mo and Dr. Nick, and he's amazing at that. And he also does the Sea Captain as well with Philip Wilburn. He does Homer sometimes and Troy McClure.
Philip Wilburn does a great Troy McClure.
And then we got Ryan Kelborn. Like he does some amazing voices as Flanders. He also does a Homer. And then we have Mikey Valdez. I can't forget him. Mike Valdez. He does Ralph, and then he's got some other voices we'll unveil soon. And we got Nikki Bernal does Lisa and her new one that we've just unveiled is Millhouse.
Great Lisa.
And there's just so many other people. I could sit here and name our cast for days, but I won't. So anyone I didn't mention, sorry.
So definitely. What time is it? It's at 8:30. For the Krusty's game show. It's 8:30 Eastern time. And then right after that we do Impersonation Nation 10:30 Eastern time. So definitely tune into those because it's a lot of fun. They do a lot of crazy stuff in there as well. All right. Well, unfortunately we run overtime. I wanted to give you the time that we lost. And thank you so much for coming on. We're going to have to get you to come on more because there's half of my notes here I didn't get to. So,
anytime.
And I didn't get to any notes for Brad.
Wonder why.
Well, anytime you want me back, just let me know and I'll be here. I had tons of fun. We didn't even get to Rick and Morty talks yet.
Bails out. I'll say, hey, we'll bring you back in. Yeah. Right. Fantastic.
Well,
all right. Well, Renee was going to show some pictures of you with, oh my God, Lady Gaga and.
We got a lot of pictures here.
There she is.
All right.
I thought she was.
I've been directing the whole time. I've been here. Who do you think was switching the cameras?
So, you've actually had a great chance to meet with some famous people, including. Jay and Silent Bob, Jason Mewes, and Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith looks so thin now; it's scary.
Yeah, well, his heart attack, he had to.
Oh wow!
And he had that. It was the Widowmaker. He was going to die, and he had a great surgeon that saved his life. And then after that, he wanted to make some changes, so now he's completely vegan. And he goes hiking every day. I'm not going to tell you where, but he goes hiking every day. He's out there.
There's Seth MacFarlane.
Seth
Yep.
MacFarlane.
Yep,
Yeah.
Seth MacFarlane. Once again, another great guy. Very charismatic. For sure.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm doing it. My computer is just lagging. I mean, I'm going as fast as I can.
Oh yeah, there's the Batman, Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck,
amazing guy. Just every time it's a good time.
Yeah, man. Well, again, we'll have you come on and talk more about that and those experiences the next time. And thank you so much for putting up with our shenanigans. There they are.
There they are.
Yeah, look at him, man. Wow.
Yeah.
You've got that look down too for your pictures. That
was one thing we always laughed about, was like I just have Kevin Smith face all the time.
You got that Kevin Smith look going in your picture. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching It's Casual. We'll see you next week. And again, we have tomorrow on Come On My House. We have Tom Cheshire and Lars Nagel. Renee, do you know who else is going to be on there tomorrow?
I'm blanking on who the lettuce is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Kelly Mercadante and Joe Fish.
Okay, that's tomorrow. BLT show.
BLT. And again, we have One Hit Wonderful on Thursday nights, now at new time, 7:00.
Yes, it's 7:00, and we will have Chris Higginbotham on, who lives in Athens, Georgia, and it'll be One Hit Wonderful, but it'll be kind of
Dennis
masquerading as a new show that we have coming down the pike. This will be a test run for that new show.
Mr. Alpha Interviewer, he's coming in, isn't he?
No, he's not.
If he barges in on One Hit Wonderful, I'm history. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. Have a good night, guys, and we'll see you in the mañana.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Thanks,
thank you, Ewan. And thank you also to Brad, who we had earlier. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Ewan. Bye.
Love y'all.